today's class for regarding missed midterm exam. Those who are attending missed midterm exam, the portion will remain same. The schedule has not yet come, I think, but the portions will remain same as your midterm exam. So let's begin. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So last class we were discussing with respect to a particular data. If it is, if we are having more than one form for it, how do we do the coding part? Programming from programming perspective, how we are going to deal with it. So first we have discussed with respect to the complex number example and what are the different forms and how usually we write the programs we have discussed. But then when we define the procedures in that manner, then the problem with that is we can't identify, that is we cannot predict which program, that is which procedure. When we say, when we are calling the selectors, like real part as well as the imaginary part, we don't know which representation has to be called out. So because of that, how we can solve this? We can solve it by using this tag data. So what is this tag data? That means when we are saying your particular content. So say if you are having your number, complex number represented to be as 1 and 2. So 1 is considered to be as the real part, 2 is considered to be as the imaginary part. That is, if you are representing this in the form of 1 plus 2i. So that means it's in the rectangular form. So when your number is in this format, how do we construct it? We construct it by using cons. So we can say cons of 1, 2. Since we have, we know that it is only two numbers, it is better to go with cons rather than list. Okay, and since we know that we have only two numbers, we don't have to go till the last content of it, till nil. We don't have to go it. So we don't have we can reduce one function call also in that way. So it is better understand what type of content it is. So based on that, use the cons as well as use the list. If you are having more than two data, then go ahead with list. If it is only with two data, then it is better to use constructor, that is cons. So when you construct it by using this cons, when you construct cons of 1, 2, this is how it will be. So to represent this, this is of rectangle form, we can give a tag to it. So that means give a tag in the sense we can put the string saying that it is rectangle. So you can add a content saying rectangle in front of this number. That is, we can attach a tag to it. That is what this tag data means. So you can, to this content, that is 1, 2, you can make use of cons of rectangle. So you can say cons of rectangle to this content 1, 2. If it is a polar form, then you can add polar to this. That means you are putting a give what representation it is. So you are just giving a name to it. So we are just saying polar. If it is in the polar form, say 1. Since we have used constructor, say 30. So it will be like this. So you are giving a tag to it. So since when we are giving a name to it, that is in front of it, in front of that content, you are saying what type of what content it is. So that is what we call it to be as the tag data. So since if you make this small modification to it, to your representation, then what are the changes, what you will be doing it onto the previously discussed procedure, and how we can make it to be as a generic procedure. So that is what we are going to see in today's class. Okay, so same procedures we will use, but there will be some kind of small changes here and there based on the representation. So now, first thing is, we have to make a that is we have to whenever we are constructing a particular number, that is whenever you are constructing a complex number, you have to construct it either in this way or in this way. So that means you have to ask from the user whether the content, whatever you are representing, whether it is in the rectangle form or polar. So that means we will define a procedure called attach tag, where you are asking the user what type of tag it is. This tag is nothing but since we are discussing with respect to complex number, the tag will be having only two things. Either it will be rectangle or it will be polar. And the second argument what you are going to have is the content. So content, what it means is it will be nothing but it will be this portion of your data. That is what is your if it is in the rectangle form, what is the real number, and the that is what is your complex number, what complex number it is. So entire complex number is what is meant to be as the contents. So what we are doing it, we have to construct it once again. So what we use, since we have only two contents, we will use only constructor, that is cons. So cons, we are attaching the tag to it onto the contents. So if I put together everything, if I say now the complex number will look something like this. Cons of the tag name, whatever tag name you are giving, that tag name will come over here. I'll just write it to be as tag. Again, another cons, which was having the content. So cons of, if the content what you had is 1, 2, so it will be 1, 2. So this is how, after this attach tag, this is how the your complex number will look like. So cons of, if the tag name is rectangle, so in place of tag, whatever I have written, it will be mentioned to be as rectangle or polar, followed by cons of your complex number. So this is how entire thing will look like. So so this attach tag is nothing but it is a constructor. So you are constructing a complex number, adding tag to it. Once this is done, we should now decide with respect to the selectors of it. So that means now we have to, that is, once this first procedure whatever we have discussed right now, it is the constructor of the complex number. Once we have constructed it, we have to now start taking the contents, extract the each and every details regarding your complex number. So for that we have to define the selectors part. So now we shall discuss the next procedure, whatever we are discussing, it will be based on the selectors. So first selector what we are going to discuss is, we have to first extract the first portion of your content. So first portion of the content means which is nothing but whether it is rectangle or whether it is polar. So what content, what type of data it is, what type of complex number it is. So that is what first we have to extract. So, so for extracting that, we have defined this type tag where we are expecting the data term, whatever it is written, where we are expecting your input to be in this format. Okay, so your complex number, which is having the complex number along with the tag. So what we have to check? We have to check whether, before we simply extract car of the whatever data it is, before we do that, first we have to check at least whether it is a pair or not. If it is a pair, then only extract it. Otherwise, we don't have to extract the first content of your data. So for that reason, first we are just checking whether the content, whatever you have passed as an argument, whether it is a pair or not. So only that condition we have to check. If it is a pair, then you just extract the first content of it. So first content if you have to select, then we will be using the selector to be as car. So car of the data type, the name what we have given is datum. So that will be used. If it is not a pair, then it is understood that the content whatever we have passed is not a complex number format. So we can directly say that there is no type tag. You can just raise an error message. Just by passing that argument, you can just raise the error message. So you can, just to say that it's an error message, you can just use a predefined procedure, which is error. Within double quotes, whatever you write, it will be displayed, followed by what value you have, that if you want to pass, that also you can pass. So this is how the error syntax works. So content followed by the value. So that can be done by using this error message. Okay, so by using this type tag procedure, we are going to extract the first portion of your complex number, which means it is just going to extract the tag part of it. So for extracting, we just have to verify whether it is a pair or not. If it is a pair, then only extract it. Otherwise, raise an error message. So moving on to the next part. So since when we have extracted the first portion of it, now we can directly, now we can extract the next part. Next part means which is nothing but the content part. So for extracting the content part, when you pass an argument as a complex number, that means the complex number which will be having the tag as well as the content. So here also we are just checking whether your content argument, whatever you have passed, is a pair or not. If it is a pair, then you are just extracting the CDR portion of your content. If it is not a pair, then you will be just raising an error message. Okay. And now these two, the previous two, the type tag and the content, whatever we have discussed, it is just the selectors. And the first one, which is the constructor one. Okay. Now we shall discuss with respect to the supporting procedures, which we can use it for the last class, whatever procedures we have discussed, just to inculcate whatever for this new way of representing the data type. For that, for supporting procedures, we can just discuss right now. So as a supporting procedures, we can have a procedure called rectangle, where we can verify whether the content, whether the argument, whatever you have extracted by using this type tag, whether it is rectangle or not. So just this rectangle procedure is going to return the result to be as true or false. So that means the next two procedures, whatever I'm discussing now, the output will be in terms of true or false. And this we will be using it in the procedures, whatever we have discussed in the last class. So we have to rewrite the procedure, whatever we have discussed in last class. So similarly, we are defining the polar procedure, the next one, where whatever content you have extracted by using this type tag, that is the first content from the complex number, we are just checking whether it is polar or not. Since it is array of characters, we can't use the assignment, that is the equality check cannot be used. We have to use EQ, since it is array of characters, or since it is a character content which we are verifying, the primitive procedure which we have to use is EQ. Okay. So we have right now discussed with respect to the constructor of how do we construct the complex number. After that, we have just discussed how do we select the constructed complex number, how do we select the first part and the second part. The names used were type tag for selecting the first content, contents for selecting the actual content of your complex number. Next, we have discussed with respect to the rectangle procedure and polar procedure, where your results will be in terms of true or false, which will just return if your extracted content with respect to type tag, if it is rectangle, it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Similarly for polar also. Now let's start rewriting the procedures, whatever we have discussed, by using these selectors, constructors, and the condition which we have defined just now. So now coming to the selectors, if your complex number, if you have defined it in terms of rectangle form, that is, if your complex number, if it is in the rectangular form, then how do we define it? So previous class, whatever we have defined, we were just using the name to be as real part of real part. Now, since we can separate it by using, since we have represented your complex number by using a tag, we can define it. We can identify which procedure we have to call. So since we know something, what we have done is we have rewritten the procedure in using giving two names. So if your complex number, if it is in the rectangular form, I have defined this real part with rectangle form. So the name what I have used, I have just modified the name by appending the rectangle at the end. So real part of rectangle is the name what I am using it for this extracting the real part of the complex number. And Z is the argument where we will, which will accept a complex number. Complete complex number will be taken by this Z variable, and from that complex number you will be extracting only the first part of your complex number. So from complex number, when we say we are expecting the complex number in this format, so 3, 4. So for Z variable, we will be just passing content of Z. So when we take content of Z, you will be able to extract only this 3, 4. Once we get this 3, 4, from this we are just extracting the first portion of it. So where we will be getting only the real part of it, 3. Similarly, if you wanted the imaginary part of your complex number, we have just rewritten it to be as imaginary part of rectangle. The name itself we have changed. Imaginary part of rectangle, where we are passing the Z as the argument, and we want only the second part of your complex number. Second part, how do we get? Which is CDR. Since we have used cons, we can directly go with CDR. So CDR of Z. Here only the names has been changed. Nothing else. Rest all remains same. So magnitude procedure, whatever we have discussed, that remains same, other than the name of the procedure is changed. So magnitude of rectangle, since we have defined it on for the complex number, which is in the rectangle form. So where we are expecting the content which we have defined is in the rectangular form, and when we are using it for the multiplication operation or for division operation, it is better we convert it to the polar form representation. So we are using it for conversion formulas we have used, where it is square root of x square plus y square. So we have just written that same thing in this primitive form. So square root of x square plus y square. So plus operator will be coming because it's in the primitive prefix format. Plus of square of whatever content you have from this real part of rectangle, whatever we extract, that is which will give us the x part. Square it. Similarly, extract the imaginary part and square it, add it, and then apply the square. So you will get some value from this magnitude of rectangle. Similarly, angle of rectangle for the complex number, if it is in the rectangular form representation, we have to apply the formula where we are applying the tan inverse of y by x. So how do we get, what is the function which we can use? Is a tan is the procedure which we can use. A tan of y by x. So it will be imaginary part of rectangle value and followed by the real part of rectangle value. So a tan will return another value, that is nothing but it will be the angle of it. So once this is done, we have to construct it back. So that means our assumption is that the complex number which we have represented was in the rectangular form. Whatever operation we were supposed to do, that is like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. After doing the operations, we are giving the output back. When the output has been given back, how the output will should be output also. If your complex numbers are in the rectangle form, then your output also should be in the rectangle form. So keeping that in mind, make from real imaginary when we are doing it, that is nothing but it's a constructor. And this especially we have defined it for the rectangle form representation, and it accepts two arguments which has been named to be as x and y. So x value and y value, once it takes, what we have to do, we just have to add a tag to it saying that it is in the rectangle form. So for doing that, I'm calling this attach tag, where the tag name is passed to be as rectangle and cons of xy. From this attach tag, cons would be used, cons of rectangle, cons of xy. Similarly, if your representation was, if you have done with respect to multiplication operation or division operation, what we would have used, we have already converted that to in the magnitude and the angle form, but the output should be in the same rectangle form representation. For that, what we have to do, we have to reconstruct it back. So for reconstructing it back, we have to make use of the formula. So make from magnitude, angle, rectangle, where we are expecting the values to be as the R value and the A value, that is the magnitude and the angle value. Once we get, we have to reconstruct it back. So for reconstructing it back, what is the formula which we have to use? To get the X value, it is nothing but magnitude multiplied by cos of angle. So if you apply this formula, you will be getting the X value of it. Similarly, if you want to get the Y value, we can apply R multiplied by sine of angle. So we get the Y value. Once we get this X and Y value, we can construct it. So cons we can apply to it. Along with this, we have to add a tag to it. So for attaching a tag, what tag we have to attach? We have to attach it to be as the rectangular tag. So we are just calling this attach tag procedure, where the tag what we would pass is, it's the rectangular, is the name what we are attaching to the content X and Y. So this is for the first portion of our complex number. So we have defined a set of procedures related to the complex number represented in the rectangular form. Okay. So first set of procedures, whatever we have defined, it was for in terms of complete complex number. So complete complex number was constructed. We have extracted the portion, the first part of it, that is the tag name, and the content has been taken. After that, we have specifically telling that we are dealing with respect to the content part of it. So for keeping that in mind, we have defined the real part of the rectangle, imaginary part of the rectangular, as well as magnitude of the rectangular, angle of the rectangular. And once we have used these procedures, selectors, we have to, after doing any kind of operations, we have to reconstruct it back. So for reconstructing it back, what we have to do, we have to make use of make from real imaginary rectangular, make from magnitude rectangle, so that we can attach a tag to it along with the contents. So since it is in the rectangular form, your output also should be in the rectangular form. Similarly, we have to define the procedure complex number if it is in the polar form. So when your content is in the polar form, what we have to do? The same name I'm using, attached, that is appended with the polar. Instead of rectangular, I'm just using it to be as the polar. So real part. So your complex number, whatever we have defined, where is my cursor? So the complex number, whatever we have defined, it is in the polar form. So when your content is in the polar form, what we have to do, when we have to calculate the real part, that is when you have to add two complex numbers, it is better if it is in the rectangular form. So that the formula what we are going to apply, it will be a simple one. So keeping that in mind, so if you have to apply this real part, what we have to do, we have to make a conversion to it. So that means we have to make it, your complex number is in the polar form representation, but it has to be converted to the rectangle form. So what formula we can use? We can make use of the formula extracting the magnitude part from the complex number. So magnitude of polar we can use. So if you see magnitude, since our complex number is in the polar form representation, I have defined this magnitude of polar, where I will be extracting directly the magnitude value. Similarly, angle of polar, when we say, we can directly extract the second argument, which is the angle one. So these two procedures I can make use when I am doing it for calculating the real part from the magnitude and angle. So what I will be using this magnitude of polar procedure by passing the complex number, which is in the polar form, extract the first part of it, multiplied by cos of angle with respect to the polar. So angle, by using this angle procedure, I will be extracting the angle value, apply the cos function to it, and then multiply it with the magnitude value. Similarly, if I have to calculate the imaginary part, how do I calculate the imaginary part? For that also I have to extract the magnitude of that polar value, that is the complex number, multiplied by sine function applied onto the angle of that complex number. So this will be the formula which will help us calculate the imaginary part of your polar number. complex number. So once we, so these four procedures, whatever we have defined, this will be taken to be as the selectors of the complex number, which is in the polar representation. Now, by using these procedures, whatever operation you had, once you have finished it, once you are giving out the output, it should be in the same polar form of representation. So I have to make use of the constructor now. So the following procedures, whatever you are seeing right now, it is the constructor. So for constructing with the prefix operation which operator which we uses, it will be cons. So for that, what we have to do? So first we have to, if you are if it is your representation is in the polar representation, so the operations whatever you do with respect to magnitude and angle, that is the multiplication and division operation, if you are doing it, we can apply directly. So your input is also in the polar form, your output also will be in the polar form. So directly we can say cons of magnitude, which is represented to be as R, and A. So these two values which we can pass it directly. For this values, what we have to do, we have to attach a tag. So attach, by using this attach tag procedure, we are just putting adding a name to it, polar. Similarly, if you have to, if your complex number is in the polar form representation, but the operation what we have done is addition or subtraction, then what we would have used? We would have already used this conversions, that is the real part and imaginary part. Already the formula would have been applied and calculated the real part and imaginary part, and we would have done the operation. But when you are giving away the output should be in the same polar form itself. So we have to reconstruct it back. So for reconstructing it back, we have to apply the formula again. So how do we apply? How do we get the magnitude part of our complex number given your real and imaginary value? For that, we will be applying square root of x square plus y square. So for getting the magnitude, we will be applying this formula. For getting the angle, we apply tan inverse of y by x. So for that, the primitive procedure a tan we can use with respect to by passing the y and x value. Because your input itself will be in the real and imaginary form, so directly we can pass it. Once you get these two formulas being applied, you will be getting the magnitude and the angle. So these two has to be clubbed together. So for putting it together, we can make use of constructor cons. Now, once we construct this complex number, we have to say this complex number is in which format. So for that purpose, what we have done, we have attached a tag to that complex number saying that it is a polar. So since it is a string, we are putting a quote and we are writing it. So hope all of you would have seen that we have used a quote because it is a string. That is the reason why, since it is a string, that is the reason why we have used EQ procedure as the one which we, when we were discussing with respect to rectangle and polar conditions. That is with respect to these two. Now moving further, now it is easy for us to define the generic procedures. So let's see how the generic procedures will look like now. So now if you have to write, when we are using this operations like addition of two numbers, hope all of you remember. Last class I have shown. If you are using this, add complex numbers Z1 and Z2 or subtract complex numbers Z1 and Z2. We were directly using real part of first complex number, adding the real part with the second complex number. Similarly, adding the real part of imaginary part of first complex number with adding the imaginary part of second complex number. Like this, we have defined it. So now we have to define a generic procedure like real part, imaginary part, make from real imaginary. Similarly, for multiplication and division of two complex numbers, we have made use of the procedure, magnitude and angle. Similarly, when we are reconstructing it back, we have made use of make from magnitude angle. So we have to now define these generic procedures. So how do we define it? So that's what we are going to see. So let's start with the real part. So when we are defining the real part, how do we define it? First, we have already defined the real part for rectangle and real part for imaginary, right? So for that, so these two procedures were already defined. We can make use of these two procedures now. So for that, what we have to verify? We have to verify the first part of it. That is, the tag has to be verified. So for that, how many conditions we have? We have the tag, it could be rectangle or it could be polar. Other than these two, if something else come, then you have to say that it is an unknown type. So we have three conditions. Since we have three conditions, I could with respect to the syntax part, it will be easy if I go with cont. So cont, first condition I have verified it to be as whether it is rectangle. So the procedure which we have defined just now, we have rectangle question mark. By passing the Z, it will extract the first content of your complex number and verify if it is EQ with rectangle tag, that is rectangle name. If it is so, then we will be calling the real part of rectangular with the complex number will be nothing but contents of Z. Similarly, if it is a polar one, polar question mark Z when you pass, it will compare, it will be calling this polar procedure which we have defined just now. It will compare it with that tag polar. If that condition is satisfied, we will be calling real part of polar by passing the contents of it. If these two conditions are not satisfied, that means the tag whatever we have given, the name whatever we have given as the tag, it's not for the complex number. So we can directly raise the error message saying that it's an unknown type for real part, and you can that same content you can pass it. So that's why Z, whatever content you have passed, that will be directly returned. You can see it on the output screen. So wherever you are displaying it, you can see that. Similar, then also you have to make sure if your imaginary part, if it is in the if your complex number, if it is in the rectangular representation, we will be calling the imaginary part of rectangle. This procedure has to be called. If it is your polar representation, then this procedure has to be called. How we can make a decision? That we can that is based on this rectangle question mark, which we have defined just in last to last slides. Similarly, polar procedure, which will return true or false. So based on this, it will be calling either imaginary part of rectangle or imaginary part of polar. If these two conditions are not satisfied, then error message will be raised. Similarly, for magnitude. So whenever you have the magnitude, we will be calling the here also we have to decide whether the content based on the complex number, whether we have to call the magnitude of rectangular procedure or magnitude of polar procedure. So how we can make a decision is based on this condition. If the condition returns true, that is rectangle of Z, if it is true, it will be calling magnitude of rectangular, and as the arguments we can just pass the contents, we can call the contents procedure where it will return the CDR portion of your complex number. Similarly, if your complex number, if it is in the polar representation, then we will be calling magnitude of polar, otherwise error message. Same thing with respect to angle also. So we have to take a decision whether to call angle of rectangle or angle of polar. How we can decide based on the condition which it satisfies. With respect to the tag, if the tag doesn't satisfy, it will raise an error message. So we have seen the generic selectors. So the procedures related to generic selectors we have seen just now. Shall move on to the we shall make use of the constructors, generic constructors. So if you are coming to this generic constructors, if it is define make from real imaginary, then we shall call the input, that is, if you are if your operation is addition or subtraction, then what it will be? We shall be applying make from real imaginary. So we can call directly make from real imaginary from rectangular form, because the input whatever you are getting here, it will be in the same form of real that is real part and the imaginary part. So directly we can call rectangle. Similarly, if it is magnitude angle, then we can make use of make from magnitude angle polar form. So by making use of these procedures, we can directly call generic procedures. We can directly make use of the operation. So if you see this hierarchy, say for example, now add complex number, when we have seen, we have already defined. We can simply define it to be as make from real imaginary, and we will be extracting real part. So once you reach to the real part, by seeing the Z1 value, we can understand that whether it is the rectangular form or polar form. So based on that, it can do the operation. You can still add on few more conditions. We have just done it only for in a simpler way. You can add on few more conditions, like verifying whether Z1 as well as Z2 both are of the same format or and all. So those things and all we haven't done. You can improvise on this. So let's see with respect to the hierarchy, how we have defined it. So if you see here, so at the lower end, we have the complex number represented in the rectangular form or polar form. So based on this, let's make us so complex number, rectangular form or in the polar form. So based on the format, we have defined all the procedures related to it. That is all the selectors, like real part, imaginary part, and all the supporting procedures has been defined. By using these procedures, we can generate any type of packages. So right now, whatever package you have seen is with respect to the arithmetic operation. Complex number arithmetic operation is the one which we have defined it. So that is nothing but add complex, subtract complex, multiply complex, and division of complex. Similarly, you can create your own packages based on you are doing it for what type of application. Okay. So this is about the multiple form of representations. So if you are having a data which can be represented in more than one forms, that has to be understood clearly. You have to whenever the requirement phase, during the requirement phase of your study, you have to understand, work out with respect to the data part and analyze which all ways you can represent it. If there is a single unique way of representing that particular data, then well and fine. If there is more than one form of representation, then you have to start thinking about how you will be representing it. So here I'm expecting from the user, they have to, when they are giving the complex number, we are expecting from the user that it has to be mentioned whether it is in the rectangular form or in the polar form. But for some situations, you can identify by seeing the input. Say, for example, like the terminology which comes after the value. So 300 km, when you see, you can identify that it is with respect to the kilometer. Accordingly, you can apply the formulas and calculate. Similarly, if it is in the miles, how it has to be. So certain contents you will be getting it by seeing the data. Certain things you have to ask from the user what it is. So based on what type of application you are building it, based on this, you have to just define the procedures accordingly. So shall move on to the next. Okay, it's already 11:30. I shall stop here. And one more thing, students. On coming Tuesday, first hour, I'll not be taking class. Instead, tomorrow, third hour, followed by fourth hour, I think all of you are free, right? So I'm planning to take fourth hour class. Tuesday, first hour, you will be free. Coming Tuesday. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So thank you. So I'll stop with this. So we are done with the second chapter. So we shall start off with the next chapter in the next class. So that is with respect to modularity. With respect to how do we create objects, how do we do the assignment, how do we make use of the assignment operators, what is the syntax, how the memory allocations will happen, how it looks like. So that is what we are going to deal in the third chapter. So thank you, students. I should stop recording.